You may not know that yesterday, Governor Roy Cooper issued Executive Order 138, which replaces his previous executive orders and really ushers North Carolina into phase one of reopening. This executive order goes into effect at 5 o'clock on Friday evening this week. And in this order, there are some specific regulations that pertain to churches. This has changed the landscape just a little bit in terms of how churches can meet and when they can meet. The previous executive orders had basically shut down operation of church gatherings. This new executive order says that mass gatherings of more than 10 people are forbidden, but it specifically states that worship is not a mass gathering. And so the executive order itself says that the shutdown does not apply to church gatherings for worship purposes. However, a few paragraphs later, it says that all mass gatherings allowed under this order should be done outside. And from watching Governor Cooper's press conference, it's a little confusing because the order doesn't reflect what I think his intent is. It appears that he intends to allow churches to gather and meet in groups larger than 10 if it's done outside. But the executive order would continue to extend the prohibition on meeting together inside in groups greater than 10 people. Now, this is a problem, I think, for Governor Cooper because it applies restrictions on religious exercise in a way that doesn't apply to everyone else. He's in the new order, he's allowed businesses to open up to 50% of their capacity, with the exception of certain businesses. And so the fact that he is allowing other businesses to open up to 50% of capacity and not churches would be a restriction on religion that is applied in a way that is specific to churches and not generally. And those are the rules the Supreme Court has set up. It is legal for government to place some restrictions on religion. And so a lot of people are under the impression that government can never limit religious exercise. That's not true. The government can place some restrictions on religious exercise if there is a compelling state interest and the restrictions are generally applied to the public at large or done in such a way that they're the least restrictive way. And in this case, I do think Governor Cooper's order has a problem because it is not generally applied. These restrictions are applied to churches specifically. And so if you're a pastor and you're thinking about gathering and meeting together, I do think the new executive order there's an argument that could be made that you could hold church gatherings because it excludes worship service. And if you want more information, you can contact us at ncvalues.org and we'll be happy to talk with you about it. If you want to send the governor a letter, I think that's appropriate in this situation. Or if you want to file a complaint with the Justice Department at the federal level, I think there's a place on their website where you can file a complaint. But these restrictions are still in place for churches as it pertains to indoor church services, that you can have a gathering no larger than 10 people.